I hate the term must win, so we're going to change it up just a little bit. And it brings you What the H? Brought to you by Andy Mason, Real Estate, AndyMasonRealEstate.com.
What the? What was he thinking?
Release the hounds.
The Dave Hooker Show.
Keep cool.
A presentation of OffTheHookSports.com.
Jimmy, let me start with you because we ask this question far too often in college football, I believe, because of the setup that if you lose a couple of games, you're out of any sort of championship hunt. Now, that's all going to change next year. But Texas A&M in this game this week that I think Vegas likes the Aggies more than I thought they would. Is it a make or break game for the Vols?
What are your Vols?
Yes.
To accomplish what they want to accomplish this year, the answer is yes. Now, look, their goal was to win the East Division. That's a lofty goal considering all that you lost from a year ago, the personnel that you lost. So I didn't think that was reasonable. I thought it was reasonable to come in and win 9 games. If you don't beat A&M, you're not going to win 9 games, in my opinion. Regular season. Because I don't see you winning at Alabama. Tennessee's not been very good on the road, and Alabama's seeking revenge. And then Georgia's hard to beat anywhere. So if you lose to A&M, in my opinion, you're pretty much assured of 4 losses this season. So I would say from that standpoint, it would be make or break for Tennessee.
Caleb, what do you think?
I'm totally with Jimmy. It's make or break, just like South Carolina was make or break 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And you're right. If you lose to A&M, it makes 4 losses almost certain. And guys, it puts 6 losses on the table because Kentucky and Missouri are still both on the road down the line. And I don't know how Tennessee recovers if they lose this game, particularly. And the reason it's so important is with 9 wins you can live with the momentum that you believe the program is building under Josh Heupel in his 3rd year. But if you stumble to 8-4 or 7-5, I mean, then the red flags start to go up, and that filters down into recruiting and just every other thing you could possibly think of. It filters down after that.
Guys, let me play devil's advocate a little bit because I enjoy that, and because I do see the SEC as being a little bit different. Jimmy, I think the conference is significantly down. Georgia withstanding, I don't see any team that Tennessee couldn't beat. It would be a gut punch to lose at home to an A&M team, but do I think that wrecks the season? No, I don't. I think Tennessee could lose this game and still have a very successful season.
Define successful.
I would go along the lines of what Caleb said, 9, maybe even 8. And I see the trend of this program. They're getting better defensively. I think they still have an issue at quarterback, but that should be erased next year. And you pointed that out on offthehooksports.com. I'm unlike most people. I like the trend of this program this year. I think most people say that it's taken a backward step, but successful to me would be 8 or 9 wins.
So I think they can get to 8. So if successful is 8, then I will go with you because I think they can get to 8. Anything below 8 would be a big disappointment based on what Tennessee fans expect, based on the direction of the program under Josh Heupel. I thought it was unreasonable for people to think Tennessee could match last year's 11-win total. So that's why I settled on 9. I went 9-3 because I don't know who they're playing in a bowl game. I don't know how to predict that yet. But yeah, if your definition is 8, then I think that they can get there. Losing to A&M almost assures in my mind that the ceiling is going to be 8. I don't see them beating Georgia or Alabama. Maybe you're more optimistic about Alabama. I'm not, based on what Jalen Milroe did at Texas A&M. I think he is figuring it out, and I think he'll be a pretty darn good quarterback by the time Tennessee plays him.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I want to get your thoughts on the SEC as a whole. Why is it down? Is it down? It's brought to you by Andy Mason Real Estate, AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Real estate experts with over 4 decades combined experience in East Tennessee. Best prices, best service in the Knoxville area. It's pretty simple. AndyMasonRealEstate.com. Jimmy, is the SEC down?
It is. Now, and I struggled to figure out exactly why, because a part of me earlier said, okay, you've got several offenses in this league that are struggling because they got a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator, and Georgia being one of them. Well, Carson Beck was terrific the other day, and if he can continue that, they're going to be fine. Alabama was struggling with Milroe, and now they're not, at least temporarily. But here's what gets me. What happened to LSU's defense? I think we can agree that they've got good athletes on defense. What's happened? They always have good athletes at LSU, right? So I don't understand why they're struggling like they are. I think Jaden Daniels is fantastic. To me, almost every team in this league has a significant flaw. With LSU, it is their defense. With Tennessee, they're not as good offensively as they have been. I'd hate to say that's a huge flaw because they're still scoring a lot of points and stuff. But there are a lot of teams that have a flaw. Kentucky's not as good at quarterback with Devin Leary as I thought they would be when he transferred in from NC State. So there are just a lot of teams that have issues that have surprised me a little bit. But to me, there's no question the SEC's down. They're not as elite at the top, and their middle section, which is where they usually have a lot of great depth, I just think they have a lot of teams that are in that 5 to 7 win category.
I agree.